What's up, everybody? Joe Brown here. This is the Heresy Financial Show, and today we are talking about the fact that the SEC and other agencies like it are unconstitutional. I'm going to explain and show you undeniable truth that these agencies should not be allowed given what the Constitution says, and even if they exist, they should definitely not be the ones making rules, regulations, and laws that affect your everyday life. Ready? Let's dive in. All right, take a look with me here. We are going to be looking at the Constitution of the United States. We are looking at Article 1, Section 1, and we can see here, all legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives. In summary, all legislative powers belong to Congress. What is legislative? The ability to create law. However, as is so eloquently pointed out in this great article on Bloomberg called Is the SEC Unconstitutional by Matt Levine, in the modern United States, this is not quite true. There are some federal laws made by Congress, but quite a lot of federal law is made by government departments and administrative agencies. Now, at the root of this, what we are dealing with is the rule of law versus the rule of man. If you have the ability of a government to make up the rules as it goes along, whether or not that government is a representative government or not, you have a much greater chance for that system to tip over into tyranny. However, if you have a set of ground rules that are unchangeable and cannot be changed, they will always present a leash on whoever is in power because they can't just make up the rules as they go along for whatever serves their needs best. There are a set of rules that provide a leash on that power regardless of what the people who are in power want to do. And in the United States, that law is founded in the Constitution. That is the foundation, that is the base layer, meaning that anything the Constitution says overrides anything that anybody else says or anything that anybody else wants to do, regardless of the position, regardless of the power. The written, unchangeable words of the Constitution reign supreme over it all. However, in reality, that's not the way the United States operates. Given what we have going on today, we have plenty of things going on, numerous uncountable examples of governments, state, city, federal, and agencies and departments doing things that when you trace it back to whether that foundation says it should happen or not, absolutely unconstitutional things happening everywhere. And one of the best examples of this is the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. Right now, there are many proposed rules that would crack down on special purpose acquisition companies, require more disclosure of activist stakes and swap positions, limit stock buybacks and executives trading in their own stocks, and implement a climate disclosure regime. Now, it's important to take a step back here and recognize that it doesn't matter what the intent or what the results of this is. Now, it's important to take a small step back here and recognize that it doesn't matter either what the intent of these rules, regulations, and laws are, and it doesn't matter what the results are. The very fact that you have an entity making rules and regulations and laws that are not Congress, that is blatantly anti-constitutional. So why is it done this way? Whether we're looking at the SEC or the ATF or any other department or agency that makes rules and regulations and laws that affect the daily lives of every American citizen, why did it get that way? Well, it's because Congress didn't want to bear the burden. The Constitution says Congress has to make the laws, but there were certain people, most likely rich people, lobbyists, interest groups, who were saying, hey, we want you to make a law about this. We want you to make a regulation about this. We want you to make a rule about this. And they just didn't have the capacity to look into all those things and make educated rules and regulations and laws that would be beneficial to everybody and their constituents. And so what they did instead was started creating agencies that would operate on their behalf. And yes, the SEC exists at the sole discretion of Congress. And tomorrow, Congress could eliminate the SEC from existence. Same thing with the ATF and other agencies, other departments. Absolutely. However, that doesn't negate the fact that the Congress of the United States has abdicated their responsibility and given that away to unelected representatives, unelected people who are appointed, who are given these positions of power that affect the daily lives of every American without that accountability. Now, you might be asking, what would we do then if we didn't have all of these agencies who had the expertise, who had the careers in these fields, in these areas to make these rules and regulations? Then that would be up to Congress to do this, and they wouldn't be able to. That's the point. The entire point of this is that the people who have the power to make the laws should only be making laws in the areas that are applicable to everybody and that they are already experts in. And if you can't have the representatives of the people do that, there shouldn't be laws about it. That is the point. No, they are not efficient enough to be able to make all the laws that exist today by themselves. Good. Great. That's the point. It is a limit, it is a leash on power and tyranny. No, they don't have the expertise and the subject matter expertise in order to make educated decisions about these areas. So they shouldn't be making decisions about those areas. At the end of the day, there's a lot of momentum behind the system and the way things are done today. And it's very unlikely things change in a way that is better. More likely, they just continue to go along the path that they're currently going on. Momentum is strong and long. But who knows, the more people who understand that agencies like the SEC and the ATF and others like them are unconstitutional, maybe the right person will know, and maybe enough people will be unsatisfied enough with it, we will be able to get a little bit of change in a way that is more beneficial to Americans instead of continuing to have these encroachments on our freedoms that restrict people from being able to engage with life in a way that is most beneficial for them, and instead have to navigate around thousands and thousands and thousands of rules and regulations and laws every single day. As always, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.